Hello, my wonderful spirit guides. I am back from the Christmas holidays and I am so excited to get back into doing videos. I can't even tell you. Like, I actually don't know how to explain how excited I've been. And like each day I keep going, do I do it today? Do I do it today? I'm like, no, I need to do it on the right day. And today is the right day. But anyway, I'm just so happy and I was craving doing videos. It was actually kind of nice to have like the break that I did have, because it really like gave me a chance to really miss doing these videos, because I always love doing them. But to miss it felt like, it just like certified my love for it, if you know what I mean. And it was like, wow, I just really need to hear new music. Like, it's become such a routine for me now. And like, hearing those new sounds, it's becoming like an obsession. It's like a something I need. I'm really looking forward to getting back into it, and this is the first video of many to come. And the first album I'm going to be reacting to is Set My Heart on Fire Immediately by Perfume Genius. And if you have been following my channel for a while now, you'll know that I've done a reaction video to No Shape by Perfume Genius too, and I loved it. So I'm really interested to see what this one will sound like. This is 3 years on. The last album was in 2017, this is 2020. So yeah, I don't know if it's gonna have the same energy or what, but I am ready to get into it, so let's go. If you'd like to become a patron, please do. Would love to see you there. You get live streams, where you can request songs, you can get all early access, all uncut content, all of that sort of thing. And please do follow me on Instagram, and I shall follow you back if you'd like me to. I mean, I feel like I should be getting a Twitter soon, because everyone's like on Twitter, but I really don't know how to use it. I've tried and I'm like, I do not know what I'm doing. You might have to like help show me the ropes or something. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm so excited and nervous. Like, I don't know why. It's just like, oh, I need to get my listening ears on. I've pretty much just been listening to Sevdelisa the whole time I've been away. It's crazy. I'm kind of obsessed with her now. But anyway, first song is called Whole Life.
Half of my whole life is gone. Let it drift and wash away. It was just a dream red.
Beautiful. I was just about to mention the piano.
Half of my whole life is done.
Oh gosh, hard to pause that. I knew in that first moment, like the first 4 lines, you know, it was just very like him on his own in the first 2, and then the harmonies in the second 2. I was like, okay, good, for one, because I thought if it's like all 4 lines were just him singing, it wouldn't like capture you to listen to more, because you think, okay, it's kind of like one thing, even though it sounds nice. Your like ear and your mind often need something more. You need to feel like it's going to develop. You need to feel like it's going to progress. And then when the harmony came in, I was like, aha, a little bit of progression. And it also made it sound so beautiful. And then with that kind of clouded, muffled sound, you heard like a tiny bit of a piano before it went straight into full, like, you know, like the actual full moment in the second verse, main verse or whatever. And now it's got that, it's got that real old school kind of jazz feeling. You know, it's got a little bit of like a doo-woppy, not doo-wop, like oh, I can't think of the word. Like barbershop quartet, but it's not like that. It's like, when you think of the song Hopelessly Devoted to You from Greece. I don't know what that style of music is. It's like a jazzy, but it's like in the 50s. Apparently it's just pop. But I don't know, maybe it's, yeah, maybe it's just more of like a early 60s, 50s pop, I suppose. Well, in the 50s, there was like rock and roll, there was doo-wop, there was a bit of, oh, what's it called? Yeah, rockabilly and stuff like that. So like, and jazz, of course. It's like, so it sounds like it has like a mixture of those like smoother kind of like jazzy pop kind of quartetty sound to it, that jazzy feeling, but it also feels like also in like a Spanish like location as well, or like on a beach somewhere. It's just really reminds you of the last album with those kind of feelings, I suppose, but it's beautiful. Bit western as well.
It was just a dream I had to dream.
Ooh, that guitar, the tremolo.
Let it soften. I forgive everything now onwards on the seasons. Now I'm listening.
Every sound is so complimentary of each other.
Life is
Ooh, the way that like, ooh, drum like goes like that. It's like a real like suck in and inhalation, like, oh, it feels really good. It makes it feel, it gives it more of a modern aspect, I suppose, or like something a little bit more electronic in a weird way, mixed in with it. Showing you, yeah, it's got old sound to it in a way, but it's also got something modern, yeah. Oh, and then a synth, of course. Wow.
Let it drift and wash away.
Wonderful. Dreamy. Just like, oh, I just felt wrapped in it for a little bit. And I kept seeing a small image of like a small blossom tree. So I was, I had my eyes closed for a minute just trying to like make it out the picture, because, you know, I try and not force a picture. I let it come to me, and I was trying to see if it would come back with the music, and it was just a little burst now and then, this blossom tree, and like, I don't know, it just felt very meaningful. It was just beautiful. Wow, I really liked that. What an interesting opener. I find it interesting that he says, half of my whole life is gone, let it drift and wash away. So I'm like, what does that mean? Is that someone that he was with? His other half is gone, like his lover? So, you know, half of your life, a lot of people, let's say, you know, when you're in a relationship, that's your whole life, and then it's drifted away. There's been a breakup, maybe. Because at some point it does say, the mark where he left me, a clip on my wing, I will let it soften, I forget give everything. I once hummed the seasons, now I'm whistling. That's interesting, because hummed the seasons is interesting, because you're like, it's a bit more introverted, a little bit more to yourself, but whistling's a lot more like, you know, audible. People can hear it. It's a bit more extroverted, I suppose. I don't know what it has to do with this, but I guess I'll know more once I know what the whole song is about. Okay, what the artist has said about the song. When I was writing that song, I just had half of my whole life is done, and then I had a decision afterwards of where I could go. Like, I could either be really resigned, or I could be open and hopeful. A bit like the humming and the whistling, like in or out. And I love the idea. That song to me is about fully forgiving everything, or fully letting everything go. I've realised recently that I can be different suddenly. That's been a kind of wild thing to acknowledge, and not always good, but I can be and feel completely different than I've ever felt, and my life can change and move closer to goodness. or further away. It doesn't have to be always so informed by everything I've already done. Yeah, that's very interesting. It's about time almost being linear as well, in a sense of like why is everything judged from before something bad happened or after something bad happened, and your life is revolved around this. It's like, no, you can do newer things, better things. I don't know, I think I might be going off a bit, but hear me out. You can still do newer things, like actions where your life can then revolve around that, like whether that be good actions or bad actions. But it's just, as humans, we are malleable. You know, we can move, we can change, and you don't have to define your life by one bad action, I suppose, but depending how bad it is. But basically the choice is up to you, even when it doesn't feel like it. Even when it doesn't feel like it. Yeah, okay, interesting. I hope what I said made some sense. At the end of the day, I always feel like I blabber, and like my brain like speaks so fast and it makes so much sense in my head that I don't know if I can like get it out in the words properly, if that makes sense. Like, oh, it just frustrates me sometimes. Anyway, next song is called Describe. Was not expecting that. I love that. Very different. Just how distorted that is mad.
Wait here for me. It's never felt like we're
Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna pause it. Okay, this one starts very differently. This one has a really different feeling. At first, I could kind of see him in like a motel room, right? But it was like in the 70s now, okay? Or no, it's still the 60s, still the 60s. Sorry, I was saying 50s before, but this is 60s. I could see him in like kind of like a motel room, but it's a bit like one of those motels where they're all joined, you know? A bit like a Bates Motel sort of sitch. But then I could see like a load of travellers had come to like travel through, and they're all staying at the motel, and there's people outside having drinks of beer, there's people like with a fire and stuff, and I could see him like just in his like little motel, and like outside it's got the fire and the rumbly kind of crackling distorted sound is all like the hubbub going on outside, and his voice is a little bit smoother and in the room. And I could feel he's waiting for someone. He's waiting for someone to come be like, hey, how's it going? Do you know what I mean? I could feel there's a waiting feeling to it. And then like this bit now, there's ooh, like all that. He says here, by the looks of it, his loving felt like ribbons, an echo in the canyon. His loving felt like ribbons, an echo in the canyon. Beautiful lines. But that's interesting. It felt like the person had arrived, and then like there's some of the sounds sound a little like they'd have a bit more clarity, and those like guitars with the more clarity and like those like certain sounds felt like the other person in the room with him, if that makes sense. I feel like a storyline. I don't know why, I just do. Wow. Oh, okay. This is like a huge space here, but there's no lyrics by the looks of it. And this is kind of, I don't know. A bit ominous. happening, but I'm just like, no idea what's been said. But I'm so interested. I'm curious. You know, he talked about canyons, and it feels like this is in a canyon in a way, you know. This is like the echo through the canyon. Ooh. Ascending sort of sound. Whistling too. Like the last song said about humming, and then that was like a whistle, and it felt like kind of relates to the last song with the, excuse me, I was talking. But it sounded like, you know, it was whistling at the end, and then I just thought back to the last song when I was talking about the humming and whistling. Amazing. I'm going to see what the song's about. So the artist has said, it started as a really somber ballad. It was very minimal and very slow, and then it turned into this beast of a song. I started writing about when you're in such a dark place that you don't even remember what goodness is or what anything feels like. Oh, yeah. And so the idea was having someone describe that to you because you forgot or can't get to it. Oh, that is a little bit somber and dark, but that's interesting. And also it makes you think of that person, like the imagery I was getting makes you think of that person coming through the door, and like, you know, I said about him being in a dark motel room and there's like all the hubbub outside and he's waiting for someone to come in. Like he's in the dark place. He's literally in there in the motel room. What the hell? My brain sometimes. I know I like connect dots in like weird ways, but it works for me. And then I talked about someone coming in to be with him. And this person with all the clarity of the instruments is telling him what that good place feels like again. And really he's just saying, step outside the door and you'll see it, you'll feel it. But yeah, I feel that from it. That's kind of beautiful. What they've also said is originally it was very plain, sad and slow and minimal. Then it kind of morphed, kind of went to the other side when it got more ambient. Love that the song just starts so hard and goes so full out and doesn't let up, but that the sentiment and the lyric and my singing is still soft, of course. Love that. I was thinking about someone that was sort of near the end of their life and only had like 50% of their memories, or just could almost remember, and asking someone close to them to fill the rest in and just sort of remind them what happened to them and where they've been and who they've been with. At the end, all of that is swimming together. Oh, that's wonderful. I don't know if you know, but I did like a lyric analysis on Perfume Genius as its whole video. It was a really fun way of making videos, actually. I just didn't know whether to carry on doing videos like that. Then I went to the website to try and do lyric analysis there, but I realised that took so much time with the writing, and I don't know, I might carry on with that, I'm not sure. But at the moment I'm doing it in the videos again. I always bounce back and forth with what I'm doing with the lyric stuff just because it could get out of hand sometimes, and every song and artist is different with their lyrics. So it's really difficult to know how to do it for what artist, if that makes sense. Anyway, I've remembered how much I love the lyrics on the last album and the meanings and so on like that, and again just reading that just gives me such like a explosive feeling in my heart. It's very beautiful. All right, next song is called Without You. Can you believe it? We're only on song 3. I feel like I've been here for hours already. Not in a bad way, it's just like I've forgotten what it feels like to like really go into the songs and describe it and so on. Like I love that, but it's just, yeah, wow. I feel like so much has happened already. All right, Without You. Bit of an upbeat romantic sound to it.
It's the strangest feeling, unknown, even almost good. It's a blurry shape, it's a jumbo tape, a sound. It's enough in the mirror, I can
very
almost
folky.
find your face.
And those drums especially.
You know it's been such a long, long time without you.
Oh.
Without you.
Ooh, yeah. That's nice with the drums. Nice rhythmic, like.
You know it's been such a long, long time.
Yeah, I really like that on the rhythm there, like, like it just really, the melodic sound with the choppy rhythm and the way it came together really added like a new dynamic to the song. I really appreciate that. But also it feels like the lyrics again are sticking to the theme of what has been, you know, the theme so far, but I'll look into it a bit more after. But this one does have somewhat of a romantic sensation to it. It's something like, and very folky. I could see sort of like candlescent lighting, you know, like those lights that you have outside there, like little bulbs. Yeah, I could see that, and I could see like a kind of like folky, like bar, you know, like in a bar and there's like an outside band playing sort of thing. I like it.
Without you, without you, so she tells me it's enough in the mirror. I can almost feel it. I'm feeling something. It's enough in the mirror. I can almost find a trace. At least I have this way.
This one,
you know, it's been such a long, long time without you.
ooh, it ends like that. I was imagining it to go into like another bit like that. Okay, so this song particularly, I found myself very much looking at the lyrics and going, oh, what's that mean? Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? More so than listening to the sounds. The sounds felt kind of like beautiful, they're wonderful, but like just the way they just gelled well, they made sense, it's a bit folky and so on like that. But this one was a very wordy one. This one felt like it had details in the words more so, and that's what I felt most drawn to. So I'm going to look at what has been said. In an interview with Pitchfork, Hadreas stated, "This song is about when I liked what I saw in the mirror as it actually was, but it was brief. It wasn't a lasting feeling. Sometimes when I look in the mirror, it's kind of a jumble to me. It's dysmorphia. But that brief time when everything made sense was sustaining. And knowing that that's available is comforting. To make a country song about body dysmorphia is really sick to me." That is interesting. Yeah, I liked how he says it's sustaining, because I try and think like that in life in general, right? I was talking to my partner actually yesterday, and it's so hard sometimes for people who have gone through a lot of pain to be fully open, you know, be like, I love you, I think you're amazing, without having fear there, right? And being like, but what if I say this and tomorrow we have an argument and then I'm going to take it all back because I'm going to be like, piss off, or, or like, leave me alone, or whatever. You know, whatever you say in your arguments. And my favourite one is just being grumpy old man, is what I like to say. You know, you have those moments where you're in a really good moment and you're like, I love you so much. And you get that little like moment when you're like, I'm scared to say I love you so much and lean into it, because what if I have to have my like backup, you know, and like, what if I'm feeling a bit different tomorrow? What if I feel like this? Is like, forget about it, right? This is a bit different to what Perfume Genius here is saying, Mike Hadreas, but it kind of makes sense too in its own little right, how it relates to me. You should be able to let go and just be like, I love you, you're amazing, you're incredible, like, and because then in a bad moment where you're not having the best time, you have an argument, you'll be able to remember that you had that great moment, and it won't be filled with, oh, I knew I shouldn't have lent into that good moment because look what's happening now. Like, that's just such a negative way to live. It's like, no, you can have that argument and then look at that good time and go, but I really felt like that then too. I felt really good and amazing with you. And that can sustain, it can sustain over the moments where things aren't so great. So you're like, it softens, you know, like the bad moment, because you're like, but I, you know, love you so much and I care about you so much and this is really just silly. You've got to let go of holding your like back up against a wall, if you know what I mean. You've got to kind of let go of that spikiness, if that makes sense. It is difficult, but at the end of the day, it's a lot better because you've got to give in to the love, pretty much. And so when it comes to dysmorphia and stuff like that, and looking in the mirror and going, you know, I've had moments where I'm like, God, I look good today, you know, and then the next day I'll be like, oh, I look horrible. But then you remember when you thought you looked good, and you've got to let that kind of go, well, I can feel like that again. I know I'll feel like that again because I have done. and now it's there for the taking when I need it, or I know it'll come around again. And I just advise everyone to do that in a happy moment. Like, really soak it in and don't worry about something going bad next, because actually when something does go bad, you could just remember the happy time, or like bring it back in and be like, I remember it well because I was really there in the moment and I allowed myself to be in it, and therefore I can get there again. And that kind of relates to the last song in a way, with him being like, when you forget all the good times, you need someone to tell you what they were. But maybe that person that's telling you what they were can end up being you inevitably. You can tell yourself, hey, remember that day where you had a really great time? You didn't worry about a thing. You literally just focused on having a good time. Yeah, that was you. You had that good time. So it's a practice, of course, but very interesting. What else has the artist said about the song? The song is about a good moment, or even just like a few seconds, where you feel really present and everything feels like it's in the right place. Sounding familiar to what I was just saying? How that can sustain you for a long time. Especially if you're not used to that. Just a reminder that that can happen. Even if it's brief, that's available to you is enough to kind of carry you through sometimes. But it's still brief, it's still a few seconds, and when you tally everything up, it's not a lot. It's not an ultra uplifting thing, but you're not fully dragged down. And I wanted the song to kind of sound that same way, or at least push it more towards the uplift, even if that's not fully the sentiment. Yes! Saying it for me, babe. Literally, saying it way better than I described it too. But exactly, yeah, it's like in those small moments, be there, hold it, soak it in, don't worry at all. And just so when you do feel bad, you can go back to it and go, I can do that again, if I keep practicing, I can do it. So it's good advice as well. Right, okay, next song is called Jason! Sorry, if you've ever played the game Heavy Rain, you'll know what I'm doing. But the song is called Jason. Let's go. Beautiful.
Jason undressed me.
Ooh, I like this.
Even his boots were on.
I like this. Anticipation. This reminds me. This reminds me of Aldous Harding. I think that was her name. I've only heard 2 songs from her, but this is already good. Like, she made such an impression that I can hear the kind of similarity here. Are you kidding me though? The way that like slapped in there. Oof. Ah, I need to hear it again. Songs like I knew I was going to like it from the very start. I knew his voice in that register, beautiful. I could feel that kind of, and the reason I said anticipation as well is because it was like and then the way it comes in, it's like, oh, it just feels good.
Even his boots were on. Clumsy shake.
Beautiful.
Jason, there's no rush.
Oh, heavenly.
I know a lot comes up. Where there always
oh, the lyrics.
should have been some.
Yes.
I was proud to seem warm in mother ring.
Wow, I'm loving this.
We were 23.
Wow, what a story going on here. has that real nice slow jam to it. That like Aldous Harding that I was talking about. Harding? Yeah, I think it is. But that real nice slow like to it. And then that little bit at the end, it all feels like this big like climax. It's kind of like but it says a lot. To me, it sounds like he'd met like a stranger and all night they kind of just spoke. And like he looked after this guy, you know? He was sad and he was trying to help him out, and maybe he didn't, this other guy, they were meant to be getting it on, but it didn't end up that way. It turned into more of like a, like he says, warm and mothering, just for a night. Even through all the alcohol, he could still manage it. Like, honestly, the story is pretty clear here. And then when he woke up, he asked him to leave, like, okay, can he go? And when he took the 20 from his blue jeans, it felt like the guy was like, whatever, take it. Because he'd already opened his soul up. You know what I mean? So when Mike had like taken that 20, it's almost like, you know, for my services, you know, for my counselling ear. But in like, not horrible way, just in a way of like, we are strangers after all. You know, like you don't know me, you don't actually trust me, but I need a 20, I need to get out of here. You know, there's something kind of okay about the situation. It's like, yeah, he took a 20, cool. But he just wanted him out. He's like, I don't care. I want you gone now. We had that moment and now the alcohol's worn off. Goodbye, let's just never meet again. All right, so I'm going to read out what he said about the song. In an interview with Pitchfork, Mike Andreas detailed the night that inspired the song. That song is very much a document of something that happened. It's not an idea, it's a story. Sometimes you connect with someone in a way that neither of you are expecting or even want to connect on that level. And then it doesn't really make sense, but you're able to give each other something that the other person needs. And so there was a story at a time in my life where I was very selfish. I was very wild and reckless, but I found someone that needed me to be tender and almost motherly to them. Yeah, okay, this is going off what I was saying a bit more now, for sure. Even if it's just for a night. And it was really kind of bizarre and strange and surreal too, and also very fueled by fantasy and drinking. It's a weird therapeutic event. And then in the morning, all of that is just completely gone. Everybody's back to how they were, and their whole bundle of shit that they're dealing with all the time, and it's like it never happened. Yeah, that resonates with what I was trying to say in the first place. But absolutely, totally understand it. And I think, I don't know, it depends how old you are and whatever, but we all have times in our lives where we're a bit selfish and reckless. But that's not who you are. It's just like a little moment you're going through, if you know what I mean. But and so it is weird to have that like flip side. It probably made him feel good about himself and be like, wow, I do have that in me. I can be that good person. It just is about who you're around and who needs that from you and so on like that. But yeah, interesting. I like that. That was my favourite song so far. Okay, next song is called Leave. I feel like I'm taking longer with these songs than I ever have before, because I'm only on song 5 and I've been filming for 46 minutes. Jesus. Okay, right, let me do this. That's terrifying. I kind of love it, but it's scary.
Forever, begging like a dog.
Wow.
Ignore me.
Wow.
90 minutes long. Now I'm saying
interesting. Kind of sounds like coyotes or something. This one kind of reminds me of Kai Whiston as well. interesting. Okay, not much to say about that one. It felt a bit like an interlude moment. Very interesting though. It's a little bit spooky, definitely ominous. It had a very sci-fi feeling to it, for sure. So yeah, let's keep going. Very interesting. Next one's called On the Floor. Okay. The clarity is strong here.
I'm trying, but still I close my eyes. The dreaming, bringing this face to mine.
This one's got a little bit of funk in there as well, for sure.
The fire rips me all up inside.
What I'll mention as well with this album in particular, Perfume Genius has he has his very specific sound to who he is, but there's so many like genre like mixing going on through the songs, but they still sound like his style, and I really like that. Like, it's really smart, like, to use your own sound but still change the genre.
On the floor, I pace, I run my mouth, I pray and wait. I cross out his name on the page. I walk in the light. This heart is in mine. The rise and fall of his chest on me.
I like that.
I'm trying, but still it's all I see.
So funky, groovy.
I promise every day to change. I cross out his name on the page.
With the little rhythmic bit there, like, I cross out his name on the page. I kind of can see a moment of him being like, cross his name out on the, you know, like the actual action of crossing the name out, or even ripping it up or scrunching it up. And you know, the whole song seems to be like this flow, and he's writing, and then that bit, it's like a I like that, the way it goes with the words.
My body is safe.
I really like the instrumental parts of this one. So like, it like bounces around a little bit.
I just want him in my arms.
Really nice like pan where the instruments sit. Really nice. Very surround sound. Talking about washing away, it kind of feels like he is being washed away right here. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, it really felt like he was being washed away right then and there. And by the lyrics, it sounds like, you know, how long till this washes away? How long till my body is safe? How long till this heart isn't mine? It kind of sounds like falling in love and being a little bit scared to lose yourself in it. The song portrays a sort of emotional withdrawal, using concepts like getting the shakes and promising that the next day will be different as you wait for the addiction to this other person to hopefully one day pass. Oh, that's interesting. So I said it sounds like the fear of falling in love, but really it's actually like when you're in love so hard, it's not really like a, you know, it seems a bit toxic in a way, where you're actually addicted to the person, and when you're away from them, it's like scary and painful. Right, next song. Your body changes everything. Bit more of an 80s sound now.
Give me away, I'm solid. Hold me up, I'm falling down.
So 80s.
Give me away, I'm solid. Hold me up, I'm falling down now, baby. You are anchoring until you fit beneath me, and you're breaking like a wave.
Nice.
Your body changes everything. I can hardly breathe. And now you're right above me, and your shadow suffocates.
Oh, I love that. Your shadow suffocates. Okay, well, this sounds like being intimate in the bedroom for sure. But I love the way, you know, he like is saying these words like, your body changes everything. You are anchoring. You know, the way it drops and especially on the you are anchoring. The way it drops, an anchor falls to the ground, doesn't it? And like, you know, holds the weight, keeps you stable and so on. So the voice dropping in that moment sounds like that too, you know? But yeah, I'm loving this so far.
Do you feel the same? Give me away, I'm solid.
I love that.
Hold me up, I'm falling down. Give me away, I'm solid. Hold me up, I'm falling down now, baby.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that bit. I love that. Wow.
You're proud, it is mine to be. Can you feel my love? Like honey, the camera cut away.
Interesting that it talks about a camera, you know. Well, think he knows. Think he knows. Interesting. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff about intimacy here. He talks about the camera cut away. I'm like, what's the camera? Like an actual camera? Or are you saying like the camera of like life, you know, like our kind of outer, you know, like personas are our camera and the inside is us, if you know what I mean? Like, are you just like cutting away the act sort of thing? Let me have a look. Oh, sorry about the yawning. I am enjoying it, you know, I just yawn now. I just yawn all the time in my videos. I just get so tired. Okay, so just to save time, I'm just going to go off of what, I've read it in my head, but I'm going to go off what Hadreus has said. He's basically saying like, flipping roles, like, so in intimacy and so on, you can be like dominant to submissive or the other way around, like within a matter of seconds. He's saying it relates to dance as well, and also it relates to emotions. You can feel two emotions at the same time or flip between them quickly, and you know, we often try and choose just one and it usually is the negative, but for him, he's saying he's accepted that he could feel many things at once. So it's really lovely actually, and I love how it's like for all sorts of situations, whether it be emotions, intimacy, dance, anything where you're there, you know, there's duplicity or even, you know, more than that. But yeah, very good. I think I'm gonna make myself a coffee quickly because I'm so tired. I always get like this now. Right, anyway, I'm gonna be really fast. God, I don't know what it is about these videos. I just like get so tired sometimes. I think it's because I talk so much. And my brain is thinking so hard, and then like I've got daylight on me and a ring light on me, and then the light's like blasting, so my eyes are like this, and then that makes me more tired because it feels like I'm straining. I'm a sensitive person, okay? I'm sensitive to these sorts of things. But I just get to this point where I'm like really tired, and it annoys me because I'm like really enjoying it, like wholeheartedly, and it looks like I'm just bored, but I'm not. I'm literally not. I just get really, really sleepy. Plus I didn't really have a good sleep, so that makes sense too. And I don't get it all the time. It's just like when I do videos where there's a lot of like, I like my, you know, visuals go off quite a lot, for sure. Like when I get like very visceral sort of ones, or one lyric based stuff and stuff that I really think about, and it's also kind of relaxing the music at the same time. It just gets me in this like kind of like dream state, I suppose. So got my coffee and hopefully that'll help me. Also, I forgot to say, I'm kind of hilarious, I'm wearing a t-shirt with my face on it, but it's really comfy, so if you want to get one, all that will be in the description and so on like that. I hope to make like better merch in the future, but like this is just something fun for now, and you definitely do not have to get anything. But I like wearing it because it's cozy. But yeah, even if you just want to check out what I got, go ahead, be my guest. But yeah, I really, really like that song a lot. I really like the "Your body changes everything." I like that, and I liked how it had that like kind of 80s feel to it as well. Oh, I always look like a big crazy lion when I have my hair. Look, like who is this? Who is she? Who is she? Where did you get her from? It's just the way it is. Okay, next song is called Moondbend. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfy. Oh, for God's sake. All my issues. I am such an issue-based person. Help me. Okay, right, my bones, they just break. Right, okay. Enough of the dramatics. Right, Moondbend. That's a nice deep bass. Oh, love it. His vocal in that register is amazing. Ooh. He barely said the word, you know. How sparse. Wow, this is so interesting. So sparse, so slow, so unique. As we move into some classical Spanish sounding guitar. It's a bit of a Bjork kind of sound to this one. in now. I just want to, you know, I just want to like fill in those little moments. Oh, so unique. Good job I got this coffee, because this is dreamy. Like, this is genuinely just dreamland. Oh. Just read the meaning a little bit. And Perfume Genius says, I imagine creating a man's body, conjuring and sculpting the flesh. The lyrics are the spell used to animate it and make it conscious. I imagine living inside it, but not as the pilot, like reading a book in his mouth or spine while he goes about his life. Or taking turns being the pilot and sharing the burden of having a body, and there is something erotic about how attuned you would become, phasing in and out and negotiating until it's seamless. Very unique, very interesting. It feels almost like you know, like a dissociative state, or maybe even just trying to check out, you know, be like, I'm checking out. You do the life bit. I'll come back in when I've got something to say. When something exciting happens, I'll be there. Oh, what was that you said? Yes, I would like a cup of tea, please. Yes, me. I'm going to go read my book inside the spine now. It's like living alongside someone else inside yourself. Being less lonely, I guess. But even so, very strange, but I kind of love it. Very good. Okay, next song is called Just a Touch. Oh.
Touch me deep. Before you leave.
Ooh, nice. Before you leave. I like that. It's very theatrical.
To find me. The promise in your eye. To hold our secrets so tight. Take my soul and hide it.
That's nice. Another slow jam for sure. Oh yeah, I forgot I've got makeup there. Better not do that. Hum the melody. Back to that again. Humming. Introspective. More introvert.
Touch me deep.
Ooh, nice vocal.
Before you leave.
Nice.
In time.
Wow. I love his vocals. It's so vulnerable in that higher register. It's so gorgeous. I really like the melodies in this, and like the chords, and like they feel very freeing, and like they glide well. Nice. Another interesting one in the sense of like it being kind of slow, kind of just like a little moment, a little tale, a little like something I have to say. You know, it's not like it doesn't feel like a real song, if you know what I mean. But I like that. That's cool. All right. He says, Just a Touch was imagined as a wartime queer love story. It's a song to someone who was going away so that they could sing the melody to remember. Oh, no. See, God, when you start reading these meanings, they really get you sometimes. Like, stop it. A lot of queer relationships were like that. They had to exist in secret. They had to be these brief, frantic, passionate explosions. And then afterward, you would only have a memory to sustain. Talking about those sustaining memories again. I don't know why that makes me really emotional. I guess I could just picture it so well. Just like the frantic kind of, you know, like, kiss me, we haven't got enough time. There's not much time, you know, and just that passion. Oh, gosh. Gosh damn it. We haven't got enough time. Kiss me now. Before you have to go away and I'll never be able to kiss you again. Okay, anyway. Just living out my old movie fantasy. Those in the armed forces faced years in prison with or without hard labour for having gay sex. Thus, homosexual couples had to rid of any incriminating evidence. However, some World War II love letters between male soldiers still managed to be preserved. I don't know, it just makes it even more like heart-wrenching because of like, God, stop. Because of, you know, it's between two lovers that weren't really allowed, you know, and that's like, oh, so heartbreaking. And it makes it more beautiful, just like how love can be so strong that you fight it. You fucking fight for it, you know, and there's been so much fight for it. You know, there's so much hate and there's so much like wars we fight out of hate and so on like that, but there's so much wars and battles that we fight for love too. And like the fact that they're like, yeah, we could be imprisoned, we could be killed, you know, I still need to write my love this letter, I still need to have that moment with my love. It's love, you can't really get away from it, and if you're in love, you're in love. It's just beautiful. Anyway, I could get really passionate and I need to rein it in because that will definitely expend my energy. Okay. Next song is called Nothing at All. Alright. That sound is good.
Right on time, set me free, don't wait. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Baby, say my name. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like that, I like that.
Our body is breaking down to a single beat.
Oh, I like this.
Give it.
Ooh.
I got what you want, babe. I got what you need, son.
Oh, I love that.
Nothing at all.
Wow. Ooh, okay, I need to stop it. This is a really, really good choice. After songs like Moondbend and Just a Touch, like the slower, very sparse, interesting sounds, and like almost not like with enough structure. This one is structured, it's full, it has repeating melody lines that make sense, it has catchy little moments, it's a full formed song again. It's so good after the songs that, you know, Moonbend and Just a Touch. Oh wow, I love this. This is really cool. And I love that like thick sound too, that like it's wholesome, it like makes you feel whole. Wholesome. Oh yeah. Sorry, it is going into a little bit there. But I also wanted to say I love the repetition of I got what you need, babe. I got what you need, son. I got what you need, you know, babe, need son. Blah, 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 blah. And then at the end it says nothing. Nothing at all. I've got all of that. You need nothing. And like that could be something that's really beautiful in a way. It could sound awful, like I got what you want, I got what you need, and that's nothing. But they're also saying what you want and need is nothing, and I've got that. So that's like a good thing, if that's what you want and need. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of love that though.
Right on time, set me free, don't wait. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So on fire, baby, say my name. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A travelling feeling.
To carry your hands like a ghost, and I'll just tear it down, and I'll wear it like a ribbon.
Wow. This is so cool. It's got to be like my second favourite. Very cool. I love it! That one was really good. I really liked that. I loved that one! You know, it had like a very structured feeling to it, so it felt like it could be quite more mainstream than the others. But it doesn't sound mainstream really, but like it does have more of like a structure. And I love that! I loved it! It had such a nice feeling, and I don't even like care if that doesn't make me unique or a little bit more, you know, not leaning into the songs that are a bit more artsy, you know. I don't care. I like that song. I like that. I like the structure. I like the way it felt. I loved all the musical parts in it. I really liked that too. It was musically really done well actually, and especially when it did the last, like, you can say what you want, but I already know our body is breaking down to a single beat. Some sounds fell out and some sounds came back in. Really created a picture. I'll just tear it down, I'll wear it like a ribbon, and it's like, you know, you could kind of see a ribbon there. I don't know. I really liked that. That was a really good one. Apparently it is an immediate fan favourite, and it's about being so into someone that they can really throw anything at you and it doesn't matter. Next song is called One More Try. One more try at what? One more go. It's one more. I have to start that again because I started singing House of the Rising Sun over the top. I really like the way this sounds though. So it reminds me of Portishead actually.
Not what it used to be.
Oh, talking about remembering again and talking about filling in the memories, and sounds like he's talking again from that like the perception of like the older man sort of thing, being like, you know, looking back on his life again, you know?
Fell in hazy sheets, blue. I still see you.
Very beautiful. Ah, very nice.
Your hand in mine, I'd run straight to the light.
Oh.
I still see you.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Bit of a Billie Eilish moment here. Something so warming about this song. Those twinklier sounds, like the jingles, reminded me of cutlery a little bit, and someone like, you know, like getting a cutlery out of a drawer. Felt like there'd been like a nice family meal, but this man's like quite old, and he's kind of sitting, waiting for his meal, kind of remembering his life and remembering something from it as he's waiting for his dinner. I don't know, but oh, it's just quite emotional. yeah, there's a great sentiment to it, and like it feels like he's having like a really deep, deep memory in like a very randomly casual moment. And you know, for me personally, I have some of my strongest like memories when I'm brushing my teeth, and it's because it's such an autopilot thing that we do, brushing teeth. You know, I'll be like that, and then I'll just go into like a huge like memory, and they're not always good, and I always come out of it going, oh, why did I have to think of that? Or sometimes it'll be funny, but most of the time it's always like really bad ones. I'm gonna have to get out of that pattern, be a bit more present. But you know, sometimes it is when we're doing like menial things that these memories can come by. I'm not saying this song is to do like literally an old man waiting for his dinner. I'm not saying that. But that's what I got from this song. Okay, next song is called Some Dream. Interestingly, I read that as some dream as in like that was some dream I had. But really, I imagine it means some people dream. You know? It's weird how I read it the first time. Okay, anyway. Hello. Wow, sounds so feminine here. I gather all night and snuff out the gleam till no spirit shines. Whenever I sing over it, I have no idea what their line lengths are gonna be. And I'm like, ooh, hello. And it's a whisper, that's very good, never loud enough. It's like, yeah, come on now. I love that. As it builds. That's really crazy, actually. Just how distorted that is insane. Like, when I just paused it and to talk then, it felt like, wow, the clarity of my own voice is like piercing, just because of how distorted that actually is. And like, his voice is so muffled amongst it. Yeah, well, it's very different. I kind of like it though. It sounded so hopeful before, and this is incredibly sad sounding. Interesting. Okay. That one's left me a bit curious, actually. It says here, the 12th song on Set My Heart on Fire immediately sees Mike Andreas pondering how much of his life he has sacrificed in order to be a musician. As he explained in an interview with Pitchfork, being an artist who's dedicated and protective of his work has resulted in him becoming distant from a lot of people he cared about. And you hear that a lot with a lot of artists, actually. This is a feeling that pops up throughout the whole song, as he relives a time when he ditched friends and loved ones because he was freaking out and perfecting his look and his sound. All of that leads up to the devastating realization of the final lines that he did it all for a song. But was it a banger? Was it a sick song though? Because, you know, maybe, you know, it worked out. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. But like, that is interesting, and it's kind of, it felt so hopeful at first, like this, like this, like, oh yeah, this sounds exciting, this sounds fun, this kind of like, oh, I'm trying to do all these things, I'm making it all great, and then it to be like, now everyone's gone. It's like, you know, when the party's over. Okay, next song, which is the last song now, and it's called Borrowed Light. Very, very low sound. Interesting.
No God, not this time. Just be here, Jamie.
Who's Jamie? I might have to look at it before I keep going.
Just let that old thing die.
Wow, his vocal there, very, very real, like very. Just let that old thing die. Like it felt like his speaking voice singing that moment. I just need to read a little bit first because I feel like I want to know who Jamie is. Well, it's not telling me who Jamie is. However, it says here, to me, this is the saddest song I've ever made. I've been talking this whole time about this magic and spiritual thing that I tap into when I'm creating. But then part of me is like, what if it's all just made up? What if the only thing that's happening is just shit? Jesus. Alrighty. That idea is really heartbreaking to me. Yeah. But in that resignation, there's a peacefulness sometimes too. It's all just happening and that's okay. And if my soul is just going to stop when I die, then that heightens everything that is around now. Heavy, heavy. I don't know who Jamie is. Though, still. Who are you? Jamie? 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 You gonna let me know? Okay, I'll just carry on and not think about it too much. Ooh. The falling of those strings.
Rest your hand in mine. I thought the sea would make some pattern known, but there's no secret. Just an undertow.
Wow. Very melancholy little moment. Interesting, it's called Borrowed Light. And it's about like, what if this creativity thing, this spiritual thing that I'm on about isn't real, and borrowed light sounds like, it's not his. Maybe nothing's real and nothing's really yours. It's just something you borrow for a moment. I don't know, but wow. Very, very deep little song at the end there. A bit sad. Probably not one I'd listen to all the time, but I do like it as a closer in a kind of very sad closer. But I like it. It was soothing. This album in general, let me just tell you, like the whole album is so dreamy, apart from like some of those songs that have like that heavy distortion in them. But even so, they have a very soft feel to them, and like I know a few of these songs are going to be going on my falling asleep playlist. They're just so smooth, and like with the No Shape album, they obviously had softer sounds too, but there were songs that had a bit more like energy to them, a bit more like going somewhere, a lot of travelling feelings in them. And there's probably songs that I could arguably say on the No Shape album that I really love, like Sorry, but until I'm off balance. Oh. Sorry, but that song, oh, just too good. And then the other one, I can't remember what it's called, but I freaking love it. Oh, I need to have a look now because I freaking love that one. Run me through, run me through. I can't even do it the way he does it. But so many songs on the No Shape album I really love, but maybe that's because I've had more time with it now that, like, you know, I've heard them more and more, that I've like feel more acquainted with them. And like, it's funny because having this break has given me chance to really listen to music and get into it more. Like, I loved Seb Delisa, right? You know, I was like, wow, when I first heard her, I was like, this is my type of thing, this is so good. And then I couldn't really listen to her all the time. I listened to her when I was in the shower or like little moments doing my makeup or something. I couldn't really listen much because I've got so much music to listen to. And when I just hear an album, I want to hear that a few more times, you know? So over the Christmas break, I was able to like listen to Seb Delisa and really fall in love and be like, oh, I'm in love. And you know, I miss that a little bit. I miss falling in love with an artist. And I think I'm going to allow myself to do that a little bit more. I don't know how I'm going to, but I'm going to try with it a bit more, just any moment I can. But this feels like one I can't wait to listen to again on like a consistent level. No pauses, no breaks, just go for it. See what happens in a very relaxed kind of environment, lying down in bed, just listening, maybe before I go to sleep or if I'm doing something, you know, on the computer or whatever. But yeah, I did really like it. And I have to say my favourites were certainly, was it Jason? Was it that one? The one that I was like, whew, that one has a feeling that I love. I think it was. And then was the other one Just a Touch, I think it was? Yeah. So yeah, I really like those two songs the most. And there was a lot of other beautiful moments on the album. And I love mainly, like what I love with Perfume Genius, it's just the stories. Like, he's such a storyteller. And I'm just like, oh, like, they make me emotional just reading what it's about. You know, like that wartime thing, that war, the lovers in the war, is just like, like my heart. And I just love the storytelling. And like, I don't even need to hear what he has to say about the story before I see a story in my head already. It's just pretty phenomenal like that. But anyway, this was so fun for my first video back. I'm so excited to get this uploaded and edit it and get back into the routine of things. I've missed it like crazy. But anyway, if you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe and all of the things, just do them. And if you want any links for things, just check my description and all of that stuff. But please do like and subscribe. That's something that you have to do, okay? Oh, also, I've got over 6,000 subscribers now, which is pretty insane. Yes! Thank you, everyone. Love you.